Alright, so I'm on my way home. I just left the facility. You're not gonna believe what I just did. Alright, so I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going up to Old Orchard Mall in Skokie. I'm going to meet up with Brian Daniel, aka Bucky from Into the Death. He invited me up to go and evaluate a VR system called MassVR. And it's basically where you put a headset on, and then you run around a warehouse, and then you play against, it's like 4 versus 4. And so you have kind of tournament play in that way. So it's basically what I'm hoping is it's the promise of wireless VR that we've been seeing the media talk about for the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years or something like that. So if it works well, then maybe it can be used as a training tool or just as something you can go do. It's kind of fun. Again, I don't know how effective it's going to be. I don't know how responsive it's going to be or accurate. I do know that it tracks not only your head movement and your position in the warehouse, but it also tracks your you have a pistol that you use as you run around. I think there's like jets on your back. I have, but I'm not even sure what to expect, to be honest. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos on it. I'm curious as to how contacts will work in that MassVR system. So will it allow me to focus better with having contacts and I actually brought my glasses with as well? Will glasses work, or are they better, or are they worse? How does will the system fog up? Does it fog up like Airsoft? I don't even know. I'm not sure. If I break a sweat, will the lenses get all nasty? Hopefully I'll find that out today. I know that Brian was saying that even if it's just 1v1, they can probably drop in bots. He thinks they can drop in bots. I feel like I'm gonna want to run, and I'm gonna fall when I run because it's in VR and I'm actually physically running. So curious as to if there's like a texture for the floor so you can get a good sense of movement and distance. How does the gun aim? Is that going to work well? How does the ammo work? Is there a reload? Do you have to reload like the old arcade machines where you basically dip the gun down or you dip it up to reload? All right, I'll let you guys know. We'll see once I get there. I'll pop the camera back on and I'll run it as we enter the facility. Oh God, that's bad.
The very first thing I noticed when I walked in was that huge video screen right there, and you'll notice there are a bunch of kids sitting around and they're basically listening to the commentators kind of commentate the game that they just played. So this dude by the name of Alex came down and picked us up and brought us upstairs to the second floor arenas. There's 2 arenas upstairs and 2 downstairs, and he was really nice. You could tell he was just happy to do his job. So he ended up giving us kind of a background on how the system works, how long it's been in development. He also explained that they're working with companies like MSI for the proprietary equipment that that the players are wearing. So just a few minutes later, they were actually able to put us into a game with a group of people that showed up, and they just happened to be 2 people short, which worked out perfectly for us. Now, I am going to show you footage, but I have to warn you that the footage can't compare to what the game is actually like when you have the headset on. The headset's clear. It feels like it's 60 frames per second, and it looks nothing like the output here. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, above us, above us, above us. Yeah, they're above us.
So like I said, the responsiveness is on point, and when you're looking through the helmet view, it's more first person as opposed to third person, like you just saw in the footage.
The arena, whichever one you started on, face the arena.
There's so many!
So as far as running balance goes, no problem whatsoever. I was able to sprint, run, walk, move around corners, no issues with balance whatsoever. When you look through the actual headset, you can see more of like the texture on the ground, and it's smoother, and it's more accurate representation of like where you're moving, positionally, height-wise where you're at, and so it makes a lot of sense when you're actually in the headset. It's cool because while you're zipping around in the zip line, you can actually shoot people on different levels. You can just turn your head and shoot them. Looking at the front or the back of your non-weapon hand will show you different stats in games, so like KD ratio, or perhaps your health. So as far as contacts go, there were no problems with focusing through the headset with the contacts on. People with glasses had no issues with glasses, and then of course there's the question about fogging. I had zero problems with fogging, but it may be due to the airflow, and then also that you're in a climate-controlled environment, indoors in AC, so that might contribute to it. I ran around quite a bit too, so you would think that if I'm sprinting around, typically in that scenario I would be potentially fogging in the Airsoft. One of the more difficult things to get used to was walking up to edges, because you feel like you're going to fall off the edge when in fact you're just standing on flat ground.
Yeah, there we go.
I have to admit that I did run into people a few times, but that was not due to the equipment. It was due to my ignoring of the sensors and the visual proximity warnings in the headset. So ammo reloads were pretty much a cinch. All you had to do was press the button on the bottom of the gun, and it'll reload the mag. What I do like about it is that it takes like a couple seconds for you to actually reload, so you just can't sit there and spam the reload button indefinitely. So I guess the big question is, will this ever replace Airsoft? The answer is no, but there is a place for it. I think that when it comes to really cold temperatures or just having fun off the field, getting together with some friends, if you want a way to actually track your accuracy, your progress, MassVR is definitely an option.
Okay, stick with you this time, Mr. Webb.
I'm on such a high right now from running around that VR field. It did feel weird, like when you would take the zip line across, you would zip across, and you would think you would feel a momentum when you would hit the end of that zip line. But essentially, all you're doing is reaching your hand up, grabbing the zip line, and then it zips you down there. But you're still staying in the same place. So when you hit the zip, there's no like forward inertia that keeps you moving. You just kind of like stop. And so a few times I almost fell forward, trying to stop myself from falling up the zip line. So completely goofy. And then walking up the ramps, you think you're going to have like this, like you're trying to step up, but you're really just stepping forward in real life. So have to get a little used to that motion and how that all plays out. But overall, incredible experience. MassVR is delivering on the promise of VR. When you think about VR in your home, this is what you're hoping for. And so yeah, sure, the Rift has like a 20 by 20 area or so that you can run around in, but can you really run like across a room? With MassVR, you can do that. It's allowing you to have that space, that freedom of movement. It's so spot on. It's so good. It's so good. All right, so I'm gonna conclude, I guess. So it's getting late. It's getting dark. It's raining. My windows have finally defrosted.